This conference will now be recorded.
ॐ यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वम् यो वै वेदांश्च प्रणोति तस्मै तदेवमात्मबुद्धिः प्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितां प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवास्मि ब्रह्मैवास्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्गकवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधाम् बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। यस्य निश्वसितं वेदा यो वेदेभ्योऽखिलं जगत् निर्ममेतमहं वन्दे विद्यातीर्थमहेश्वरम्। Vasishtha Rishi says, sage Vasishtha says, Nodeti nastamayati sukhe dukhe mukha prabha yatha prapte sthitiryasya sa jivan mukta uchyate. Now enumerating and elaborating on the characteristics of a Jivanmukta. Is there any characteristic which is available for us to actually gauge? Because he who knows Atma is Brahman, he is free. But does it have any other standard of knowing that that he is a Jivan Mukta? And we say yes, there is. Nodeti nastamayati yasya mukha prabha. One whose luster on the face never vanishes. The joy, the glow on the face is not relinquished, never dulls. It doesn't so happen that there is excitement of getting something and disappointment of losing something, frustration, anger of losing something. So whenever there is an excitement, the face looks different, and when there is a disappointment or sadness, the face looks different. Face reflects your inner psychological state. But in case of the Jivanmukta, his joy is not the joy of finding any object or anything, but it is intrinsic. Swarupa Bhuta. It is intrinsic. And how is it? That joy is not bound by time, space, circumstances, situations. It is anantam. And therefore, the face, the joy, the glow, the luster on the face remains as a permanent feature. Even in the most dire situations, also the glow does not leave him. And in situations which the worldly people would think is a great achievement, fails to ignite a surge of excitement in him. He may be amused, but not excited. Nodeti nahastamayati. The glow remains ever shining, his face remains ever shining. Even in the situations of, of extremities, sukha dukhe mukha prabha yatha prapte sthitiriyasya sa jivan mukta uchyate. Such a person is called Jivan Mukta. His contentment, joy, peace is never compromised. In whatever situations that he faces, as it arrives, as life arrives, yatha prapte sthitiriyasya. So now please look at this commentary provided by Vidyaranya Swami. Srak Chandana Satkaradi Sukhe Praptepi Samsarinaha Iva Harshunoditi. So when a person, ordinary worldly person like us, is able to get some objects over here, little money, some property, some appreciation, some praise, little respect, there is excitement. Harsha udeti. Samsarinaha iva harsha naudeti. It does not create an excitement like the samsaris. Mukha prabhastamayo dainyam. And what is called as the setting of the glow on the face? Dainyam. Dainyam means helplessness, pity. Pity. No. When does that happen? Dhanahani dhikkaradi dukhe prapte na dino bhavati. Whenever there is loss of any property, wealth, relations, anything, dhanahani, dhikkar. Dhikkar means being rejected, being insulted, being admonished. Dhikkaradi dukhe prapte na dino bhavati. He does not even feels humiliated. And now there is no such thing. Dino na bhavati. Idanintana swaprayatna visheshamantarena प्रारब्ध कर्मापादित पूर्व प्रवाहागत भिक्षान्नादिकं यथा प्राप्तं तस्मिन् स्थितिः देह रक्षा यथा प्राप्ते स्थितिः. So how does he continue? He continues, his living continues through those actions which are initiated by prarabdha. Which are initiated by prarabdha. Now you have to understand, generally there is this debate between people, between the fate and free will, prarabdha and purushartha. So some people, even some modern teachers, quite celebrated teachers, there was this one gentleman called Ramesh Varasekar in Mumbai. He also used to say like that. There is nothing, it is all preordained. Every action of yours is preordained. If everything, every action of yours is preordained, then there is no scope for free will. This was a general argument along with him. Many people who visited him would always have it. We have to understand that whatever is preordained is not ordained by someone or somewhere, sitting somewhere. That prarabdha is also the result of your own karma. So then if this prarabdha is whatever is called as prarabdha, is your own karma, it is not something that some God decided that you should become lame and you should become blind. Why should God make you lame and blind? For what reason should God create that kind of dukkha for you? Does God have any revenge or anything against you or to favor someone? Then that will not be God. If there is Vaishamya, Nairbhrinya is the dosha, to become partial towards someone and favor someone, and then to become revengeful and hate someone. This is a defect. And if God is also subject to this kind of a defect of favoring someone, not favoring someone, then it is not God. He may be some powerful fellow, but we cannot call him God because he is also subject to the same defects like ordinary people. Vaishamya Nairdhanya, Vishamata and Nairdhanya, dosha will be there. So now there is prarabdha, there is purushartha. We have to understand. The life of this Jivanmukta continues by the force of prarabdha. By the force of prarabdha. Then what is free will? What is free will over here? New karma. It means that when any action is initiated by a person with a purpose of personal gain. Action is initiated by a person with the purpose of personal gain. Then that action that is going to be new karma purushartha. Over here, this person, the Jivan Mukta, simply continues to live by the force of Purushartha, which means now he does not see anything has to be gained or anything has to be removed. There is perfect contentment. There is perfect contentment. And therefore, prarabdha karma padita purva pravahagata bhikshannadikam yatha praptam. So thus food etc. which comes to him, which he is now able to get. How? It is prarabdha apadita. It is acquired, got by the prarabdha, force of prarabdha. Tasmin sthitihi deharaksha. And by that alone, the body continues to work. So, it was already said. If you remember, Sadhana Panchakam, the last two lines of Sadhana Panchakam is what? Huh? The last verse is Ekante Sukhamasyatam Paratare Chetas Samadhiyatam Purnatma Susamikshatam Jagaditam Tadbadhitam Drishyatam Prakarma Pravilapyatam Chitibalam Napyuttaraishrisyatam Prarabdham Tviya Bhujyata Madhvara Brahmatmanasthiyatam. Now those Sanchita Karma and Agami Karma is all burnt down. What is left is Prarabdha Karma. And that Prarabdha Karma will be exhausted, will be finished through Bhog. By it will finish on its own accord and with the body. So over there, Deha Raksha. Further, the teacher says, now the book, the print over there, it is missing one letter, two letters in two different words. Samadhi Daradhyena. So there is a gap, Samadhi, and then you don't understand what that alphabet in between character is. Do you see that? It's a missing. It is Samadhi Daradhyena. Dridhata. Dridhata means by the firmness of Samadhi. Samadhi is not ordinary that it just gets blown away because of some situation or because of something. He is immediately disturbed. The children make that castles of cards, playing cards. And then you start the fan, then the whole castle comes down. Or you blow air over it, hey, it falls down. Samadhi, his Samadhi is not something like that that will be broken, lost. But that Samadhi is Dridha. Samadhi Daradhyena Srakchandanadi Pratitya Bhavat Kadachit Vyutthana Dashayam Apatataha Pratitau Api Viveka Daradhyena Eva Heyopadeyatva Buddhya Bhavat Harshadi Rahityam Upapadyate. How do you explain that? How do you explain that his Mukha Prabha, the glow of his face, is never lost? If somebody is going to garland you, put some perfume and praise you, it is naturally you are going to feel good. Why will he not feel good? With all, if there is some nice place to sit, people are appreciating you, somebody is fanning you, somebody is bringing you nice food, somebody is applying some sandalwood oil, another fellow is putting a garland of beautiful flowers around you, bringing you bouquets of flowers, all such things are happening. Food is brought to you in a silver plate and silver bowl. Why will not you say that it's nice? He said, no, this does not have, he is not excited with all these things. Why? Samadhi Dardhyana. Now for him, Because of the firmness of samadhi, the buddhi vritti, cognitions of all these things do not take place. Samadhi dharena srakchandanadi pratiti abhavat. The cognition does not take place. He is appreciating me, she is disrespecting me, all such things does not take place. Pratiti abhavat. And say, suppose, sometimes when the mind is not absorbed in samadhi, that time what happens? Kadachit vyutthana dashayam. And during that vyutthana dasha, when it is not samadhi, when there is a transactional state, a state in which the worldly transactions of talking, sitting, eating are conducted, is vyutthana dasha. One is samadhi dasha, the absorbed state, and the other one is vyutthana dasha, where he is the ejected state. The absorbed state is called as samadhi dasha. Dasha means state, and the where he is ejected out of samadhi, that is called as vyutthana, springing out, thrown out. But he is not thrown out like you and me. We are thrown out in the world, mercilessly kicked around like a football on the ground. It is not like that. Kadachit vyutthana dashayam apatataha, seemingly, apatataha pratitau api. So now seemingly that he is having the experience of the world. Then what happens at that time? Viveka dardhenam. Because the Viveka is so firm, the discrimination itself is so firm, heyopadeyatva buddhya bhava. There is nothing, no such sankalpa, there is no such cognition. This is good and I should get it, this is bad and I should get rid of it. There is no such heyopadeya buddhi. Abhavat harshadi rahityam. He does not get excited because somebody is praising him. Okay. And then he does not feel bad, insulted, humiliated because somebody is talking ill. Okay. One day when Mahatma was in some village, he was delivering a lecture. He was giving some discourse. So you are going to find some circuit people everywhere. So there was this one lady in that village, and she was known to fight with everyone. So when she also joined the whole group of people going to the temple for the discourse, she also went over there. And this Mahatma is explaining Vedanta, Atma is Brahma. Now, what triggered her off? She got angry. Atma is Brahman. Atma, you are telling Atma is Brahman. And then she stood up over there and she started talking ill about that Mahatma. This fellow is eating so much and now he's sitting over here and giving a discourse. You people are also just listening to him. He's a useless fellow, just eats and sleeps and talks and talks. What else is there? He should work in some field and go and fetch something, do something. She had her own things to talk. So that time, this Mahatma kept on very calm, peacefully explaining what he was explaining. Then the disciple of that Mahatma felt bad. And then he told that Mahatma, Guruji, Swamiji, this lady is talking so ill about you. So this Mahatma says, I didn't know, no, she's not talking bad about me. She must be talking bad about someone else. It's okay, let us continue. So now that triggered her even more. She got even more angry. And then she came over, she said that, I am talking about you taking that Mahatma's name. Now that disciple said, now she is calling you by your name. And she says that she's talking about you. So this Mahatma said, Arey, that name, so many other Mahatmas are also there with the same name. No, she's talking about somebody else. It's okay, let's just continue. She got even more angry. Then she came over there to that, the seat on which he's sitting. She put her hand, she stabbed his head, and she said, I'm talking about you. Now the disciple said, now she's doing this, tapping your head. No, she's not talking about me. She's talking about the body which I am not anyways. There is nothing. So, heyo kadeyatva buddhya bhavat harshadi rahityam iti upapadyate. This, and therefore that statement of Vasishtha Rishi upapadyate is completely justified when it is said that such a sthita prajna, such a person, Jivan Mukta, what happens to the glow of his face is it never increases or is never decreased. It remains shining always. Yatha Bhava. Okay. Then furthermore he says, this is also very beautiful. I want to cover this up, but not fast at our own pace. यो जागर्ति सुषुप्तस्थो सुषुप्तिस्थो यस्य जागरन्न विद्यते यस्य निर्वासनो बोधः स जीवन् मुक्त उच्यते यो जागर्ति सुषुप्तिस्थो यस्य जागरन्न विद्यते यस्य निर्वासनो बोधः स जीवन् Mukta uchyate. It is said, Yo jagarti sushuptistha. Being asleep, he is awakened. If you are sleeping, how can you be awake? We are talking not about you and me, we are talking about Jivan Mukta. That he is awakened, he is awakened when in sleep. And yasya jagran na vidyate, and for him there is no jagrat, no waking up. He is asleep over there. Yasya nirvasano bodha, his whose experience is free from any vasana. It is not contaminated by any vasana, by any conscious, unconscious desires, etc. Sa Jivan Mukta Uchyate, where that knowledge, that consciousness is not contaminated by vasana, such a person is called as Jivan Mukta. Now, Vidyaranya Swami explains this shloka. He says, Chakshuradi Indriyanam Swasva Bodhakeshu Avasthanena Uparati Abhavat Jagrati. Now, when do you say this is waking state? When do you say this is waking? What is the difference between waking experience and the dream experience? Because in dream experience also you will experience hot and cold, yellow and blue. Sounds are experienced, tastes are experienced in dream too. And over here also you are experiencing colors and forms, sounds, touch, hot and cold. Everything is experienced. What is the difference between the experience of colors and forms in the dream and the colors and experience of colors and forms in the waking? Ultimately, it is experience of colors and forms only. What is the difference? So we say Chakshuradi Indriyanam Swaswagolakeshu Avasthana. Now, the various faculties. Now, by the various faculties, presently, what do we mean? The Indriyas, Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas. What happens to them? They are sitting in their respective places. Okay? So the eyes will function when that ability, cognition arrives and functions passes through the eyeballs. So this is the place. The eyeballs is only the golaka, the place. Okay, it is just the place golaka. So that faculty arrives from the antakarana, from the heart, and then it sits in the eyeballs and functions from there. The eyeballs also need to be functional, but along with the eyeballs, the faculty also needs to arrive over there. I have given this example, even in the past I have explained this thing. In the Second World War, this did happen. That when they found that the army, the Germans, was soon depleting, they started recruiting the young boys who were 12, 15 years old. Now, these are the boys who have still not even completed their school, who are just teenagers. And they are made to hold gun and run on the battlefield. They have not seen any death, and what they are seeing is a horrible death. Their friend is dying next to them, shot in the head, the brain splattered everywhere, and the sight is horrible. So, there were several cases like this, that these boys who were made to run with the guns suddenly became blind. And when they became blind, they were brought to those doctors to find out what happened to their eyesight. On examination, it was found that there was nothing wrong with the eyeballs. The physical eye, everything was perfect. Though it was perfect, yet they were blind. They could not see. The reason is not that they were pretending or anything. The fear had blocked the indriya, the faculty to arrive and sit in the eyeballs to function. They were not pretending, they were not lying. They truly were not able to see. But why were they not able to see in spite of the eyeballs being so fine and intact? Is because the fear had blocked, prevented the indriyas from arriving and functioning from the golaka. So when do we say it is an experience of the waking world? When the indriyas contact the world by sitting in their golakas, in their spaces. The eyes will sit in the golaka here, the eyeballs. The auditory faculty will sit in the ears. The gustatory faculty will come and sit in the tongue. The tactual faculty will come and sit and spread itself over all skin. And only then, now, they will function. So when this happens, it is called as Jagrata Avastha. When the world is contacted by the Indriyas, after sitting and occupying their places in their golakas, it is called as Jagrata Avastha. Okay. Now, with the Jivan Mukta, it is said that he is sleeping whilst being awake, and he is awake whilst sleeping. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati संयमी yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato muni. That in which the world sleeps, he is awake over there. And there where the world is awake, he is totally asleep. Where is the world? What is the world waking into? Ignorance. And for him, that ignorance is not there. Ya nisha pashyato me, sa nisha pashyato me. यो जागर्ति सुषुप्तोऽस्थासो स्वस्वगोलकेषु अवस्थानेन उपरति अभावात् जागर्ति. He is said to be awake because the indriyas are occupying their places. Okay, and when is it called as deep sleep? When the indriyas leave their offices, the places from where they function. These are the offices. When these faculties leave, close down their shops, and where do they go? They go back into the heart. Heart means the space where the Antakarana is. They go back over there. And when they are halfway through, not yet in the heart, but somewhere halfway, that is called as swapna. That is called as dream. But the fact is that in the dream, though there is experience of colors and forms and all the sensations, but it is not by contacting the world outside, it is reliving those impressions which are already collected in the mind. Therefore, there is a difference between the experience of swapna and the experience of jagrata. Now, here we are saying his faculties are available. They are occupying their own places. And that's why we will have to say it is jagrata. Uparati abhava jagrati. Manovritti rahitatva sushuptisthaha. But at the same time, though these indriyas are sitting over there, yet these indriyas do not create any cognitions. They do not create any waves. And so, manovritti rahitatva, just like the sleep, there are no thoughts. Manovritti rahitatva sushuptistha. In spite of jagrati, there is sushupti. Ataeva indriyaihi arthopalabdhihi iti etasya jagarana lakshanasya bhavat jagran vidyate. Now what happens? Ataeva, and therefore, what is the characteristic of waking state? The characteristic of waking state is experience of the objects. Experience of the objects through the indriyas, through these organs of perception. Indriyaihi arthopalabdhi एतस्य इति एतस्य जागरण लक्षणस्य अभावात्, and because there is no such experience of objects through the organs of perception, you cannot say it is Jagrati. You cannot call it Sushupti because the organs are sitting in their places. You cannot call it Jagrati because no objects are being brought in. So this is wakeful sleep. What is it? Wakeful sleep. Wakeful sleep is not light sleep. Somebody just knocks the door or somebody walks and the rustle of the clothes also may wake up the person. That is light sleeping. He is not a light sleeper or anything. It is wakeful sleep. Otherwise, there are prime ministers and presidents who are threatened, and for them, the sleep itself, they cannot sleep properly. Or people with the problem like sleep apnea cannot sleep properly. That is not wakeful sleep. That is called as incomplete sleep, and that is called as insecurity or an over anxiety. We are not talking about any deformity. We are talking about Jivanmukti. So there are two things. The previous shloka said, Samadhi Dardhyam, the firmness of Samadhi is one, and the second one is the firmness of Viveka. Two things. The Samadhi is extremely dense, and when he is not in the Samadhi Avastha, it is Viveka which is most powerful. Like that. Ateva indriyaihi arthopalabdhihi etasya jagarana lakshanasya bhavat jagran navidyate satyapibodhe. So now there is the knowledge, the consciousness is there. In the sushupti, the consciousness is doused. Consciousness over here, I don't mean chip, but reflected consciousness in the mind. So over there, Satyapi Bodhe Jayamano Brahmavitvabhimanadi Abhimana Bhogarthapadi Apadita Kamadi Nishcha Dhidosho Vasana Vrittirahityena Tatosha Bhavan Nirvasanatvam. Now, though there is consciousness, yet that consciousness is not contaminated by ego. Any identity. It is not contaminated. Brahmavitvadi Brahmavitvabhimanadi Bhogarthapaditakamadi Bhishcha. Now, every abhiman, every identity is declaring some kind of experiencership. And wherever there is an experiencership, it will be accompanied by a desire. I am experiencing something. Now, whatever you are experiencing now, immediately there will be, I want to experience something. Two things. I am experiencing it is very hot. No, so what do you want to experience? Oh, I want to experience some cool breeze. So immediately, I am experiencing dearth of money. Now, what is the next thing? I want to experience plenty of money. I am experiencing loss of self respect. And therefore, what do you want? I want to be respected. So, whatever identity, whatever experience or shift is there, whatever form of ego is there, it will contaminate the consciousness with a desire. It will contaminate Malina. It will make it like that. And therefore, Bhogathapadita kamadi vishya thi dosho vasana. This dosha is called as vasana. And then vritti rahityena, and because the thought formations do not take place, tad dosha bhavat nirvasanatvam, his mind is as still, pacified, calm, like a lake which is so calm, even without any ripple, without any disturbance. The nirvasanika bodha sajivan mukta uchyate. Furthermore, रागद्वेष भयादीनाम् अनुरूपं चरन्नपि यो अन्तर्व्योमवदत्यच्छः स जीवन्मुक्तोच्यते रागद्वेष भयादीनाम् अनुरूपं चरन्नपि योऽन्तर्व्योमवद् अध्यक्षः स जीवन्मुक्तोच्यते. Now, seemingly it appears that even a Jivan Mukta, his interactions with the world. Now we are talking over here, we were talking about the Samadhi Avastha. But even in the Vyuttita Avastha, when he is interacting with the world, we will be confused because we will say that, he is acting or his actions are led by Raga, Dvesha, etc. He likes rose flowers. He likes this type of fruits. He likes this type of food. You may say that. So, raga, dvesha, bhayadinam, anurupam charan api. So, it becomes predictable. Oh, you know what? He likes grapes. Bring grapes. You know what? He likes rose flowers. Bring a garland of rose. It's something like that with the people around me. So now there is a third person who is observing this conversation of the two devotees. And then what will he say? Oh, this Mahatma, which means his life, his interactions are also led by Ragadvesha. So Charanapi, in spite of all these things that you may see and say, what is there? Yo antar vyomavadatyachha ati swachha. He is extremely clean, clear, not a stain, not even a lingering trace of all these raga dveshas in his inner space. There is nothing like this. Jivan Mukta Uchyate. He is called as Jivan Mukta. whose inner space is extremely clean. What is that? Let us say it tomorrow in the commentary. We will meet tomorrow. There is no light here, so we will see tomorrow. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमाद्व्यातदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Thank you all.